Elysium might be the last movie I see this summer. I don't know everything that comes out over the next couple weeks, but I'm pretty sure that in terms of the summer movies, which would be the remainder of this month and maybe a little bit of September, there's not too much big that's going to come out. Like, I know we're going to get Kick-Ass 2, but honestly, I just thought the first Kick-Ass was okay. Um, I know we're getting some good movies in a few months after summer, like The Wolf of Wall Street, um, a couple others too that the name escapes. Oh, Ender's Game, maybe. I don't know. And I think we're going to get some good things in the fall and winter, but in terms of the summer, I think this might be it, this Elysium movie. So, here are my thoughts on the Neil Blomkamp follow-up to District 9. So, just to set the stage, I thought District 9 was a really good movie. I thought it was really well done. It was the directors and the people behind the movie clearly cared very much about their craft, and I thought they put a really good effort together on a pretty low budget. So, as for this one, I definitely don't think it's as good for a myriad of reasons, but I still thought it was decent enough. So, I'm going to have some not so good things to say about it first, but I will get to some good stuff later on. So, just to lead things off, I'll say I thought it was an above average movie, but I had some problems with it. For starters, this movie is, like District 9, a social allegory. And while District 9 was very ham-handed in the way it treated that subject, I thought Elysium took that to another level. Like, if you watch, especially the first act of this movie, if you watch the first, half hour to 35 minutes of this movie, it is the most ham-handed movie I've seen in a long time. You don't see very many movies with a social message that is so bludgeoning you over the head over that first 35 minutes. And I know they're trying to set the stage of the movie and get us in the mood to watch this movie and give us a feel for what the movie's going to be like, but it is the most ham-handed thing ever, and in some cases I don't think it was performed all that well. So basically it's the future, it's about 130 years in the future. You have Earth, which is ruined, overpopulated, polluted, it's a crap sack world. And then you have Elysium, which is a space station that orbits around Earth, and it's a paradise. Everybody there is super rich. There's no disease, there's no poverty, there's no war, there's no sickness. Everything's perfect. It is basically heaven. So we see where this is going. The people on the people on Earth want to get to Elysium. The people on Elysium want to keep the people on Earth. And we see the people on Earth suffer in squalor and struggle to survive and go through some pretty terrible experiences and get mistreated while the rich people live up here away from all that. So that in and of itself is a ham-handed concept, but it goes beyond that. The way the scenes are shot, the way the performances are put together, the way we're introduced to various concepts, it's just beating you over the head with this socio-political message about socialized healthcare and immigration. And after the first act, it settles down enough for me to appreciate the rest of the movie. But that first act needed to be scaled back. So basically, the main character of the movie, his name is Max, and this isn't a spoiler because this was all over promotional material. He's a factory worker who contracts a deadly dose of radiation, and he's going to die in 5 days. But on Elysium, they have medical beds that could cure his condition in about 3 seconds. So the movie becomes his fight to try to get up there to heal himself, and in the process, it grows into something bigger than that. But that's basically the idea behind this movie. And as for the rest, you're going to have to go see it if you want to figure out the rest. So, like I said, first act, overly ham-handed. And if you heard what I just said, you probably already know why that's the case. The second act starts to pick up a little bit. We get some action sequences that are good. One thing about this movie is that even though there's a lot of CGI special effects and the movie cost $100 million, there is care and effort put into the live action sets, like the scenes on Earth where everything's dirty and disgusting. It feels real. It feels like some real effort was put into making everything look so disgusting and depressing. And sorry about that, I had to answer my phone just now. But anyway, the second act, I think it picks up a little bit. There are some nice action sequences. Some of the things that happen in the plot, I appreciated. I thought it was interesting. I thought it helped provide an interesting twist on some of the things going on. And I will say that by the time the third act comes around, I think everything comes together pretty nicely. There's some good action scenes, some good fight scenes between Matt Damon's character and the villain, and I think it all kind of comes together in a very cliche and predictable finale and end to the movie. But I thought it was pretty satisfyingly done. I thought it was a intriguing and occasionally thrilling third act that I thought brought the whole movie together in a way that made it passable entertainment. So that about sums up the experience of watching this movie for me. I thought it was above average, but main reason why I can't call it good, because I don't think this movie was good enough to be called good. Main reason why I say that is the core concept of the plot seems broken to me. And again, this is not a spoiler. This information is all over the commercials, all over the trailers, and the movie's already been out a couple weeks anyway. So this is not me giving away anything you don't already know. So the concept of the movie is there are medical beds up on Elysium that can cure any disease, any injury in about 3 to 5 seconds. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're not dead and as long as your brain hasn't been blown all over the room, basically. Even then, maybe, I don't know. I mean, these beds are basically magic. They can cure broken bones in 3 seconds. What else do you want? So the problem is they're only on Elysium. Only Elysium citizens can use them. The only way the citizens on Earth use them is when they manage to smuggle a ship in and somebody who has a fake ID manages to use one of them. That occasionally can happen, but we don't really see that much. And my question is why? Now, for the purposes of this movie, the answer to that question is because the rich people are dickheads and they don't want to share their tremendous technological leaps. But here's the thing. I don't get the sense that the people on Elysium are evil. They're just not particularly nice in some cases. So you're talking about these medical beds that can cure anything. People on Earth are going to pay a lot of money to use them. You could make a lot of money by giving them to the people on Earth or selling them to the people on Earth or selling their use, distributing them and allowing them to be used by the people of Earth would be profitable for Elysium, one. And two, think how much better it would make everything. I mean, the only thing I'll give you an example. Max works at a factory and it's run by one of the people on Elysium. If he could give his employees access to the medical beds, there would be no more sick days. There would be no more worker comp due to injury. The workers could perform all sorts of dangerous tasks knowing that no matter what happened, they could just cure themselves in 3 seconds. The turnover ratio for employees would be a lot lower. Employees would be lining up to get a job with him because he has infinite free health care. Think of all the benefits there would be, and for some reason they decide to ignore that part. Instead, they have workers who get sick, who get injured on the workplace, who die, and it just seems like such a massive opportunity to pass up. And, you could say that probably applies all over the world. The people on Earth manufacture things that the people on Elysium need in many cases. It's shown that to be the case. So the only thing I can think of is that they don't want Earth to become overpopulated, but it already is, and at this point Earth is already kind of a shithole anyway, so I don't know why you would really be all that squeamish about increasing the lifespan of the people down there. I mean, it's already kind of fucked anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't get that. I didn't get why people weren't stealing the medical beds, because they were being clearly manufactured on Earth. I don't know why people on Earth weren't just stealing them. That should be a pretty common occurrence. So there were some big plot holes in this movie. And the fact, and I can overlook some, but in this case it was too big, too much, and I had some problems getting over my suspension of disbelief, because that's the whole crux of the movie. And basically it just boils down to these people on Elysium are really, really, really stupid because they don't see the potential here. And that's tough for me to swallow, because these are clearly educated and smart people. So that's my thoughts on Elysium. Scale of 1 to 100, I'd give it probably a 59, maybe a 60. Above average, but not all that great or anything like that. And that's my thoughts. Next movie review, who knows?